You are sitting at your kitchen table on a Tuesday morning. The envelope came with the rest of the mail. White, official, Social Security Administration printed in the corner. You set down your coffee and open it slowly. You read the first paragraph. Then you read it again. It says your SSI account has been selected for a redetermination review. It says you are required to verify your income, your resources, and your living situation. It says if you do not respond by the deadline printed at the top, your supplemental security income payments may be suspended. Your chest tightens. You have been receiving these payments for years. Your situation has not changed. You did not move. You did not get a new job. You did not receive any large amounts of money. You have done nothing wrong. And yet that word, suspended, is sitting in black ink right there in front of you. Someone in your building said their payments were cut off for 5 months over a review like this one. They had to borrow money. They could not pay their medical bills on time. You do not know what exactly this letter is asking for. You do not know what happens if you send the wrong documents or miss one piece of paper. What a Social Security benefits counselor charges $250 per hour to walk you through is exactly what this video covers. Stay with me. I am Jacob, and I went through the official Social Security Administration policy documentation, the Code of Federal Regulations, and the SSA Program Operations Manual specifically on SSI redetermination reviews and payment suspension procedures. Everything here comes directly from SSA.gov and federal SSI regulations under Title 16 of the Social Security Act. Before we go through this, SSA rules and review procedures are shifting right now, and they are affecting real people's payments. The Social Security Administration does not call you personally when a new review round is activated. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so updates reach you before they reach your payment status. And join our WhatsApp community, link in the description, where we share confirmed benefits updates the moment they are verified, not the moment they go viral. Now let me walk you through exactly what this review is, what your rights are, and what you must do to protect your payments. Here is what is actually confirmed under federal law. The Social Security Administration has the legal authority and the legal obligation under 20 CFR 416.204 to conduct periodic redeterminations of SSI eligibility. This is a scheduled, routine process built directly into the SSI program by law. SSA is required to review non-medical factors, your income, your resources, and your living arrangements on a set schedule for every SSI recipient. This is not triggered by a complaint about you. This is not triggered by something you did wrong. This is a standard administrative function of the SSI program. Here is what is being shared in community groups right now that is not accurate. There are posts saying that the current wave of SSI reviews means the government is targeting immigrants and non-citizens to remove them from the program. That is not confirmed. SSI redeterminations apply to all recipients across the board, regardless of citizenship status. There are also posts saying that if you receive this letter, your payments are already being reviewed for termination. That is inaccurate. A redetermination is an eligibility confirmation process, not a termination process. Knowing that difference may be what prevents you from making a panicked decision that actually puts your payments at risk. Now let me break down your rights in this situation one by one. The first right is your right to a complete and fair redetermination process. Under 20 CFR 416.206 in the SSA Program Operations Manual, SSA is required to give you adequate notice, a clear explanation of what information is needed, and a reasonable deadline to provide it. The review must be based only on the specific non-medical factors outlined in law, your income, your countable resources, and your living arrangement. They cannot use this review to re-examine your medical disability determination unless they separately initiate a continuing disability review through a completely different process. This matters because some recipients receive this letter and assume their entire disability is being questioned. A standard redetermination does not do that. What you say when you call SSA at 1-800-772-1213 is exactly this. I received a redetermination notice and I want to confirm exactly which documents I need to submit and what the deadline is for my specific case. Say that. Nothing more. Do not begin explaining your medical history. Do not volunteer information about changes in your life that are not directly related to what they asked for. SSA benefits counselors charge $200 per hour to prepare clients for exactly this phone call. You now have the same preparation, but the right to a fair process is only the beginning of what protects you. The second right is your right to continue receiving payments while the review is in progress, if you respond on time. This is the most critical fact in this entire video. Under 20 CFR 416.1336, if you respond to a redetermination request within the timeframe SSA provides, your payments continue while the review is being processed. The risk of suspension is not automatic. The risk of suspension is specifically tied to not responding or not submitting required documents by the deadline. Consider what happens when someone does not know this. A person receives a redetermination notice and assumes that because payments might be suspended, they are already being suspended. They do not respond right away, because they are trying to find help first. The deadline passes. SSA suspends the payment due to non-response, not due to ineligibility. The person was fully eligible the entire time. That outcome was completely avoidable. Never say to yourself, "I will deal with this next week." The clock on that letter is real. Mark the deadline the day the letter arrives. Respond before that date. That single action protects your payments more than anything else in this video. But there is one more protection most people in this situation never think to use. The third right is your right to request help completing the redetermination if you need it. SSA is required under its own accessibility guidelines and under the Rehabilitation Act to provide reasonable accommodations for recipients who have difficulty completing the review due to language barriers, age, disability, or other challenges. If you do not read English well, you can request that SSA conduct your redetermination interview in your language. If you cannot travel to an SSA office, you can request a phone interview. If you need a family member or an advocate with you, they can be present for the interview. The exact words to use when you call are these: "I need to complete my redetermination review, but I need assistance. I am requesting a phone interview and an interpreter in my language." SSA is obligated to accommodate that request. You do not need to go through this process alone, and you do not need to pay anyone to sit with you through it. The fourth right is your right to appeal if SSA reduces or stops your payments after the review. Under 20 CFR 416.1400, every SSI recipient has the right to appeal any SSA decision that affects their benefits. If SSA sends a notice saying your payments will be reduced or terminated, you have 60 days from the date of that notice to file an appeal. Here's the part most people miss. If you file the appeal within 10 days of receiving the termination notice, under 20 CFR 416.1336b, your payments can continue at their current level while the appeal is being processed. This is called continuation of benefits pending appeal. If you receive a termination or reduction notice after a review, the very first call you make is to SSA, and you say exactly this: "I am requesting an appeal of this decision, and I am requesting continuation of my benefits during the appeal process." Those two sentences together activate a legal protection that keeps money in your account while your case is reviewed. Never accept a termination notice as the final answer without exercising the appeal right first. The fifth right is specifically important for immigrants receiving SSI. You have the right to know exactly how your immigration status connects to your SSI eligibility, so you are not caught off guard during a review. SSI eligibility rules are different for non-citizens. Under the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996, as amended, certain qualified non-citizens can receive SSI, including lawful permanent residents with a sufficient work history, refugees and asylees within their eligible period, veterans and active duty military members and their families, and certain other specifically listed categories. If you are a green card holder receiving SSI, SSA may use a redetermination review to also confirm your continued qualification as a non-citizen recipient. You have the right to ask SSA directly, "I want to confirm which qualified non-citizen category my SSI eligibility is based on." That is a completely legitimate question, and knowing the answer protects you in every future review. Here's your exact step-by-step plan. Save this video or write this down. Step 1. The day the redetermination letter arrives, mark the response deadline on your calendar. Set a reminder 3 days before that date as a backup. Step 2. Read the letter carefully and list every document they are asking for. Common requests include proof of all income in the household, recent bank account statements, proof of your living situation such as a lease or utility bill, and proof of any resources you hold. Step 3. Call SSA at 1-800-772-1213 and say exactly this: "I received a redetermination notice for my SSI account. My social security number is your number. I want to confirm the exact documents required and the deadline for my specific case." Write down the name of the agent and the date of the call. Step 4. If you need language assistance, say this on the same call: "I also need to conduct this review in my language. I am requesting an interpreter and a phone interview." Step 5. Submit every document before the deadline. Keep a copy of everything you send. If you mail documents, use certified mail so you have proof of delivery. Step 6. If after the review you receive a notice of reduction or termination, call SSA immediately and say, "I am requesting an appeal of this decision, and I am requesting continuation of my benefits during the appeal process." You have 60 days to file and 10 days to activate payment continuation. Here are the free resources that support everything in this video. Social Security Administration, 1-800-772-1213 or SSA.gov. SSI eligibility for non-citizens specifically, SSA.gov pubs EN 05-1096 PDF. For free benefits counseling and help with SSA appeals, benefits.gov. For your local legal aid organization handling Social Security cases, lawhelp.org. For the National Organization of Social Security Claimants Representatives, nosscr.org. One important warning before I close. There are people targeting SSI recipients right now, especially in immigrant communities, who charge fees to complete redetermination paperwork you can handle yourself for free, or to file appeals that free legal aid organizations process at no cost. SSA redetermination forms are free to complete. SSA phone interviews are free. Appeals are free to file. If someone is charging you a large upfront fee to manage your redetermination and they are not a licensed attorney or a certified benefits counselor, stop and verify their credentials before handing over any documents or money. No legitimate professional guarantees that your payments will not be affected. Now I want to hear from you. Have you received a redetermination letter? Are you currently going through an SSI review? Drop your question in the comments below. And tell me, which country are you watching from right now? Your question may become the next video on this channel. I am Jacob. You have rights in this country. Knowing them is not defiance. It is protection. Take care of yourself.